Hi everyone, this is Analia with YourMarriageRestored.com coming to you for our weekly Testimony Tuesday video. Obviously you can see that Michael's not here with me today because I do want to just address wives this afternoon. And obviously you can see I am no longer blonde. Got that out of my system. Just something I always wanted to do. Been there, done that, I can now say, and back to being dark-haired again. So sorry for the craziness over the last couple of weeks. What I want to talk today about is a wife's role in the marriage restoration. Now, there's many people who hear about this ministry. They get a little flustered about it because they think it's all about the husband and it's all the husband's fault why the marriage is in the crisis that it's in, and the wife has no role in it. She basically doesn't take any part in the marriage restoration. Well, I want to come to you and assure you that that is so far from the truth. Does this ministry really stand on a husband's toes? Yes, it does, more than any other marriage ministry Michael and I have ever come across, and we've come across very many. And also, what this ministry is really enforces is what God calls a husband to do in a marriage, which is to love his wife as Christ loved the church and lay his life down for her. That is an unconditional type of love. That is a type of love that dies to self and really just treats, where a husband just really treats his wife, we'll say, like a queen. And because God really just calls a husband to be in a loving, unconditional, Christ-like way with his wife. There's many scriptures throughout God's Word that talk about how a husband needs to be with his wife. Husband, love your wives in an understanding way so that your prayers won't go unanswered. Husbands, don't deal treacherously with your wives because God hates divorce. Very many, lots of types of those scriptures all throughout. And as far as a wife's role in the restoration process, what we really do is really become a helpmeet for our husbands. And this is something that I learned to do. And for me, what this has been is to really steer Michael towards Christ-likeness when he may be missing the mark, or I cannot, with myself, with my own heart, with our children, with other relationships he has, with friends, with family, work, those kinds of things. So I really want Michael to be fully submitted to God, as I'm trying to be fully submitted to God as well. You know, we're both working on that. That's a daily thing. And to say, use my voice, say, hey, Michael, this is what I need from you. And the way you're being with me right now, it's not being Christ-like at all. This is what I need from you. This is how I need you to listen to my heart and be with me in a way that I know that you are loving me for the way I need to be loved, not the way you think that love should look like, or the way you think I need to be loved, or the way you're comfortable with loving me. Because let's face it, sometimes the way someone needs us to love them can be uncomfortable, because it goes beyond our comfort zone, especially if it's something that requires us to die to self. Now, there's going to be a lot of ladies who may be watching this saying, well, wait a minute, a wife needs to die to herself as well for her husband. Well, you know what? There are a lot of times that we as wives do that. The interesting thing is, as far as the role of a wife, God doesn't call a wife to love her husband unconditionally, as he calls a husband to love a wife. He doesn't call a wife to lay her life down for him either, for her husband. Now, as Christians, do we often do that? Absolutely, we do. And oftentimes as wives, we do that. The interesting thing, when a wife will often does love her husband unconditionally and just gives, loves, oftentimes she's doing that and giving and loving to unchristlike behavior that a husband is exhibiting. And what that does is just, in a way, kind of reinforces that bad behavior or that unloving, unchristlike behavior that's coming from the husband. And so we get all this backwards, out of God's order, kind of initiator, responder, where wife becomes initiator, husband becomes a responder, which is not the way God meant it to be. God meant a husband to be an initiator, a source of life for his wife, just as Adam was a source of life for Eve. You really break that down. And just as Christ is a source of life for us, and God is the source of life for Christ. And so for us as wives, it's really important that we do show our husbands and gear them back towards being Christ-like in the relationship with us and in other, like I said, was saying earlier, even with the kids, with work and everything like that, just in their lives. And the important part, and I know for myself, when I was really first walking this out with Michael, um, what I discovered through this ministry is I was given a voice, which I never really used before. Part of my own arrestedness, I would think that if I told someone how I really felt or how I was really hurting, that they may become upset with me and leave. Then there's abandonment issues, there's all kind of stuff going on there. And so now here I was able to say, you know, Michael, you hurt me when you do this. And now he was able to take ownership of that and say, yeah, I get it. I understand. You're right. I was doing something in this particular instant that was hurting you, and I get that, and I'm going to work on making it right. I'm so sorry, and I want you to know I'm fully committed to the process. But I needed to tell him what he was doing wrong when he was doing it. Now, this is not, you know, pointing fingers or laying blame or anything like that. It's just kind of for me stating the obvious of what he was doing that was really hurtful to me. And then allowing him to make it right. Now, oftentimes there's wives who have, even this is Christian wives, we're talking Christian marriages here, who have been so wounded by their husbands, by the actions that their husbands have brought forth, you know, done towards them, brought into the marriage, that sometimes wives will really have a hard time giving praise, giving encouragement when a husband even is doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, ladies, just want to encourage you as you're walking out your restoration with your husband. When he does something that speaks to your heart, that you know he's really struggled with before and is now really, really doing it because he knows that it's important to you and it's what you need. When you see him making the right choices and hear him saying the right words, you got to let him know. You got to thank him. You got to tell him how much you love him and how blessed you are that he is actually choosing to live this out with you. And you know, we all need encouragement. We all need encouragement, and especially in restoration. You know, when there's been so much hopelessness, you know, those ones who are making it right need to have hope. So be an encouragement to your husband when you see he's doing the right thing. And when he's not, be clear and calm and get him right back on the right track. And that is you being a helpmeet to him. That's you giving encouragement and instruction and love. And that will absolutely go a really long way with your husband when he is walking this out with you. So thank you so much for listening. Be blessed. Have a great week. Remember, we have our Tuesday night call this evening. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And our upcoming intensive, April 29th through May 2nd. We still have one spot left. So if you're thinking about coming, give us a call. Our number's on the blog. So is our email. We'd love to have you join us. And we look forward to talking with you again next week. Bye-bye.